This video is brought to you by the 3-Minute Board Game patrons. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. Kia ora koutou and welcome to Harmonies in about 3 minutes. Review copy used. It has a solo mode. It's a game for 1 to 4 players, playing time is short, and it's a reasonably simple game. You are building a region and populating it with animals. Can you make the most balanced and harmonious animal sanctuary of all? The game ends if you run out of tokens or if you end your turn with 2 or less spaces free on your board. End the current round so all players have an equal number of turns. The winner is the player with the most points, and you get those from placing animal cubes and from building different landscapes. Drafting. You will draft tokens and cards from a central display. Tile placement. You'll place your tokens onto your board in planned patterns. Player turn. Choose one side of the board to play. Each player will play the same one. Then place 5 cards out between the players and the central board, with 3 tokens on each of the drafting spots. A player turn consists of 1 mandatory action and 2 optional actions in order. The mandatory action is to draft tokens. Take 3 tokens from 1 spot on the central board. You can place these tokens on your board and they don't have to be placed adjacent to other tokens. However, each token has special placement rules. Yellow tokens will score 5 points for groups of 2 that aren't connected to other ones. Grey tokens score points based on how high they are, up to 3 high, but only if they are adjacent to other grey tokens. Solitary grey tokens do not score points. You can't place a token on top of yellow, blue, or green tokens, but brown tokens can be stacked and topped off with the green token to create trees. The higher the more points, up to 3 high. And brown, red, and grey tokens can be topped by red tokens to make buildings. Buildings will only score points if they have 3 different coloured tokens adjacent to them. Blue tokens score for longest line on the brown map and for creating partitions on the blue map. Once you have placed your tokens, you may take one of the 5 draftable cards and place it above your board. Place brown animal cubes on it in the spaces shown. You may only have 4 active animal cards. The final action is to place animal cubes, and you may do this multiple times. On each card it will show a pattern. Here that is a 3 high mountain and a water token with an animal cube on it. We have replicated that here. Now we place these 3 water tokens like so, we can put 1 animal on each of these spots. Animal cards are worth points matching the animals you took off, so this completed one is worth 16 points. Cards with no animal cubes on them don't count towards your limit of 4. You must have a free space to be able to take an animal off a card, so we cannot place a cube here because that blue spot is occupied. Same here. But we could place this one. You can also rotate the shapes to fit, so both of these placement options are valid here. You may also play with optional nature spirits, who are unique animals you start with who give you a special animal token to place. Each adds a new scoring rule just for that player. Finally, replace the tokens and cards you drafted with new ones. It's now the next player's turn. Why would you like this game? Harmonies is a game that sits in an exceptionally popular niche, a short game with simple rules that makes the brain hurt, has limited interaction, but excels at 2-player. And if you're thinking I'm describing a game that would be perfect for couples game night, you would be right, because it straddles the line between being just competitive enough to feel like you're trying to beat the other player, while not being confrontational in any way. No one's animals are getting eaten. The art in the game is lovely, and the overall package is just super pleasant to look at. It works fine at higher play counts too, but the back and forth and fast play at 2 is where it's best. The best thing about this game is the 3-dimensional aspect. It's hard to convey this on the screen, but in person it's really pleasing. However, aside from drafting tiles and cards you think your opponent might want, there's not much you can do to impact their scoring. So while it's competitive, it's not hugely interactive. And the nature spirits are a little swingy and dramatically change scoring. Treat them like an expansion and add them to the game later. For something a bit more nasty, try Azul. And for something a bit tighter, try Calico. Harmonies. Now this is an actual cozy game. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel.